The strings on his fiddle dance with the bow, while Gene Van Alstyne waltzes with his past.
All evening he'd play fiddle and let me sit there on his lap.
Norwegian immigrant farmer
My grandpa was a really cool guy,
Charlie Johnson.
and that's the fiddle that he played.
Charlie's lovingly worn instrument given to his grandson, Gene.
I got a lot of stuff in this world, but nothing that means to me more to me than that fiddle. Every time I pick it up, I think of my grandpa and how much he meant to me.
The fiddle on which Gene taught himself to play. The fiddle he looked forward to passing on one day to his grandchild.
Thought about it a lot.
And the fiddle that presented Gene
You can't cut it in half.
with a problem.
I don't know how I'm going to pass one fiddle on to 10 different kids, and I wanted each one of them to have the same feelings that I had.
What was Gene to do?
You'd build a fiddle for each of them.
Yes.
Which presented Gene with problem number 2.
You had to learn to make a violin.
Right.
Before Gene took chisel to wood, he spent 3 years teaching himself.
This is the Menards fiddle.
Menards, because that's where Gene paid $8 for the wood for his prototype.
But it sounds pretty good.
He just has, this ability to see what he wants done and do it.
Sherry Van Alstyne never needed to concern herself with the whereabouts of her husband for the better part of the next decade.
I think over 7 years, I probably spent 1,000 hours each year to build those fiddles.
That sounds obsessive to me.
You got it. That's a good word. He is obsessive and driven, both.
Twice his tools were nearly stilled.
I had bladder cancer,
The first time was 3 years ago.
and then it came back, and it came back really bad.
Not only did Gene not quit, he shifted to a higher gear.
To make sure that these fiddles got to those kids before I passed away.
7,000 hours, 8 coats of varnish, $2,000 worth of fine non-Menards, maple and spruce.
People got really a little bit choked up, with all that he'd put into it.
Then, on Easter Sunday, the completed fiddles were delivered to all 10 grandkids.
You can go and buy a fiddle that's probably as good or better than what I've made, but all that was money. And this was made with love. And I want to leave them something that's special, just like my grandpa did me.
Isaiah, Nick, and Cecilia. Elias, Anna, and Kendra.
Good job.
All will vouch for the feelings they have for the gift they've been given.
This violin was made by Gene Van Alstyne, especially for my second grandson, Micah Schmidt.
Oh yeah, I bragged to all my friends about it. Just like, hey, my grandpa made this for me. Like, oh cool. No one really thinks it's amazing, but I do.
Aaron, here's guessing a few thousand people watching right now are right there with you. Strings now binding 4 generations.
I just want them to have that legacy. That's important to me.
Earlier this summer,
So
Gene had another small tumor removed. Some of his grandkids are starting violin lessons, given just a little more time. Gene Van Alstyne won't be in his shop much longer, fiddling alone.
I think it's just going to be a blast. I think we'll have a jam session. It'll go for 2 days there.
Boyd Huppert, KARE 11 News,
That's what I hope anyway.
Cambridge.